Hey everybody, welcome back. Now, I've done a little bit of an independent study between two channels on YouTube to determine whether or not it's the specific content being targeted by their bots or whether it's actually the channel itself. Now, to give you an idea of what it is that I'm working with here and what I'm doing, I do a daily podcast Monday through Friday, and I get an advertiser strike, a yellow strike if you will, literally every single time I do a podcast off of YouTube. And again, I wanted to determine whether or not it's the content or the channel that they're targeting. Now, keeping in mind, of course, if you've never seen my podcast, if you're new to this channel, seeing this video for the first time, I don't use foul language. I don't speak graphically. I don't use graphic content or imagery or anything. I have a conversation with the people that are joining the broadcast, and we look at news articles and I read them and we talk about it. It's that simple. So there's nothing extraordinary going on that should target the channel specifically. Now, what I've done is I've broadcast on two channels at the same time. And I've been doing this for a while, and it was part of a test. I'll continue to do it that way, but it was part of a test to determine if there's a difference. So we have the exact same broadcast going out on two channels at the exact same time with identical content, with the exact same title, same thumbnail, same description, and same category as well, because you select a category, and in this case it's news and politics. So they both have the same category. Remember, same time, same content, live broadcast, same title. Nothing is different between the two. Now, if we go in here, and this is behind the scenes, this is what I look at from my end, and you see, we'll call this channel A. Channel A, and you can see 6 video broadcasts lined up. So 5 out of 6 of them received a yellow strike. You see where it says limited. That means you're not getting ad revenue, okay? Now we go to channel B again, and you'll see it's the exact same dates. 5 out of 6 are approved. 5 out of 6 are approved, and this is pretty standard between the two channels. Channel B almost never has a problem. Channel A, literally almost every single broadcast gets a yellow strike. Now, what does that mean? The yellow strike, ad suitability. This video may earn limited or no ad revenue due to content identified as not suitable for most advertisers. We use a combination of automated systems and human reviews to detect violations of our advertiser-friendly content guidelines. It remains fully playable and is eligible to earn subscription revenue from YouTube Premium. And you can request a review. You see that on the bottom there. And this is what that looks like. If you are certain that your video, thumbnail, and metadata meet YouTube's advertiser-friendly guidelines, you can request a human review. We prioritize reviews based on a number of signals. And request human review. I don't know if an actual human really actually looks at the video or not, or if they just have an AI program they call human. I've run into that with other platforms and with other agencies. eBay, for example, has bots that pretend to be people. I have no idea if they really have people doing this or not. It says prioritize reviews based on a number of signals. That's important to consider, because if you're not an important channel, if you're not a big channel with a crap ton of subscribers, you don't matter that much. So it could be days, weeks, months before they give you any kind of feedback about the review. What they decide to do, it could be a long time before you hear anything back, and by that time your potential for ad revenue is gone. especially if you're dealing with a live broadcast like what we're doing here, because it's a podcast. It's connected to a podcasting service. So if they didn't catch it live, odds are nobody's going to see it after the fact. So if you get back to me 5 weeks later, I can't earn anyways. And moving on here, because there is the rare exception where both channels get a strike on the same video, and that happened on September 11th. And this is what happens. We go to channel B. Great news. After manually reviewing your video, we've determined that it is suitable for all advertisers, and you see podcast 9/11/23. All right, that's great. So some couple of weeks later, they get back to me and say, hey, yeah, sorry, made a mistake. No problem, here you go. So you would assume that channel A would be treated the same. Well, no, not exactly. Channel A, after manually reviewing your video, we've confirmed that it isn't suitable for all advertisers. As a result, it will continue to run limited or no ads. And you see again there the date, podcast 9/11/23. Your video remains playable and is still eligible to earn subscription revenue for your YouTube Premium. You can find more information about our advertiser-friendly guidelines in our help center. You're not going to find much there. It's going to be very, very confusing, as a matter of fact, to try to understand what all that means. And if you have questions about it, they're not going to answer them. And I'm going to refer you to a letter here. This is a feedback email from someone on YouTube explaining about violations of policies, and I want you to scan down to the middle of this email where it says now. Now, for the exact reason for the denial. I apologize, but we cannot provide the specifics for it, as our internal policies prohibit us from sharing these information to avoid partners from going around our policies. So basically, we have jammed up your channel, or we've given you a strike, or given you a violation or a warning or something, but we don't even have to tell you what it's for. And I want to point out also, if you read through this whole email, it's bad syntax. The writing style is badly done. Either this person is speaking it into a program that's typing it out and missing typographical errors, or this is another bot. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a bot at all. So, based on what I'm seeing here, I would have to conclude that it is the channel that is specifically being targeted for whatever reason, and not the content on the channel. And furthermore, as pointed out in the email that I just showed, they don't even have to tell you what the problem is. You're just supposed to somehow guess and figure it out. And I can't imagine what the problem could possibly be, since again, we're talking about the same content being broadcast on two different channels at the exact same time. And that example, by the way, on September 11th was not the only example of both channels getting a strike at the same time. But it's usually the same result, where channel B gets authorized after the review and channel A does not. So there you go. I know it's a really overly simplified independent study, but you can see the inconsistencies there. You can see that there are obvious inconsistencies. Thoughts? Anybody have any thoughts on that? Anyone else have you run into this sort of a problem? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments section down below. Please do give the video a thumbs up if you don't mind. They say it helps with the algorithm. I do not believe that for a minute, but I appreciate it. Share the video if you can. This is really kind of something that a lot of people who try to get monetized on YouTube ought to know about. Subscribe if you're new. Check out some of the other videos. Take a look at the podcast if you're interested in that sort of thing. And if that's it, then what more can I say but stay tuned, folks, because there is more to come.